finally, we'll discover how you lied to us today.
You will be held accountable for your
sins.
crimes against humanity.
Yeah, this is where we get to
we will
the
make
court
you
of
pay for your
EFAP.
sins because we've learned the Catholic Church. All right, we've learned about them, so you'll pay for your sins.
Creetosis, you are on trial. Today we'll discover the nature of your personal morality and whether or not you deserve to go to prison.
Oh, clearly I do.
Oh wow, it's the expert witness. You're really on the fucking stand now, buddy.
A Flying Nuns Reddit post was hugely influential and entirely inaccurate.
I feel like I want to avoid using the word hugely always. I feel like that's a word I never want to use.
Why is that a bad word?
Hugely? Hugely just sounds like one of those words that you say.
Do you have a problem with largely? Fatly?
Largely is it's a little better, but then I feel like
just
I
an adjective.
Hugely.
It's just an adjective.
I know it's just an adjective and it can't hurt me, but I still feel like hugely is one of those words that you just don't say.
Get away with chungusly?
Oh no, chungusly is phenomenal. That is the word of that is a true patrician tier word.
All right.
That's not something that
just
makes
that is not cringe. That is based.
Yeah, in the plebeian ghettos of Copenhagen, that isn't a word that you're going to hear spoken.
Pumpin' hostel.
We need metal to translate all these words. You know, Copenhagen. That's not even real. Let's be honest.
Copenhagen.
It has cope in the name.
There's a lot of coping, going on here. Copenhagen, it sounds like having cope in another language. Yes.
Copenhagen.
You are having cope.
Having it chungusly.
Luckily, however, the source material was still out there, so it should have only been a matter of time until someone came along. And
I do love this narrative that he's posted of, like, you see, everyone was lying, so all it took was someone to watch the source, and the source he presented to us was so fucking embarrassing.
What are the comments on the source? Let's go I can go to the source and look at the comments on it. Yeah, this was 7 years ago.
His Elder Scrolls stuff was early 2021, so at any point he could have done this for Emil.
Okay, so the first big comment on this that goes back 6 years. The big comment, in short, if you want to become a great writer, listen to all of his advice and do the exact opposite.
Yeah, okay, wait, whoa, Rags, he didn't watch it, that guy, okay? Let's go with a different 6 years ago comment.
That was 6 years ago, right? That's post
that was
Reddit
6 years ago. Yeah, so this is 7 years ago. Love how he explains the dialogue. They saw a problem with players wanting to skip it, but didn't see the problem that it completely limits any choice and consequence beyond saying something sarcastic.
That guy was biased. Have you got any others?
Harassment.
That's true. I mean, I could. There's someone from like 5-6 years ago. I got to really scroll to get a 7 years ago comment. 4 years, 5 years,
7 years ago. Years. Take to heart, everyone. If he can do it, anyone can do it. Well, that guy's lying.
I understand the fact checking as I guess the theme of this video.
Yeah,
and I'm doing a bit of fact checking here, and it sounds like NeverKnowsBest is just lying.
To make it very clear for anyone listening right now, the suggestion is that if you listen to the original speech, the original presentation, then you'll get a very strong and understandable perspective on what his point of view on writing is, and that everyone else has twisted it. However, there's some comments here from 7 years ago plus that seem pretty critical.
Why the fuck did we spend so long listening to random comments on Reddit when he could have shown the YouTube comments?
Well, because no, we're not going to do we're not going to do that. That would be catastrophic to the point. We are not going to do that.
There's some funny ones.
Moving on. We don't want to talk about that.
Play the video. Shut it down.
Provided a better interpretation, or at least address some of the most common mistakes. And someone did come along, a self-styled Bethesda expert.
Mr. Creetosis, are you a self-styled Bethesda expert?
I have never fucking claimed to be an expert about anything in my life.
But he said self-styled,
journeyman, a greenhorn, an apprentice.
You sure you've never said you are the guy for Bethesda stuff?
Nope. Not even the biggest channel that talks about Bethesda, shockingly.
Lies.
Name one channel that's bigger than you that talks about Bethesda stuff.
Patrician TV.
Lies.
Oh, God.
Who is this
Get him outta here.
Patrician
Get him outta here.
TV? Who is this? You made him up.
Get him out of here.
Whose most popular videos focus on explaining why other YouTubers are wrong about their opinion on Fallout.
Oh, what a fucking framing already.
What is this?
Dang,
What is this?
What a parasite.
See,
this is one I hear all the fucking time. I'm sure you're not shocked to hear that. But yes, I'm told that I tell other people what their opinions should be or that their opinions are wrong or whatever.
well, the problem is that I get this all the time too. So I'm just sitting here like,
this is the we are very familiar with this.
Did you know that EFAP don't let people have opinions?
What happened to the good faith presentation?
No, I know. This is already shit. This is the thing. If I hadn't seen a single video from your channel, I'd already be like, is that true?
Even what he's saying, the thing he's saying isn't bad at all. He's just saying it like it's understood that it's bad to like respond to other people on the internet.
Yeah, it has the same.
That's self-evidently a terrible thing to do. Dripping
with the same like bullshit as saying something like, "This is a channel that basically only criticizes film." You'd be like, "What are you saying? Right. Why are you saying like that? You know, like, why you put it that way?" And then if you had him like in the call, he'd be like, "No, nothing. No.
Well, and it leaves out the context of what the original argument was about anyways, because wasn't Mini a True Nerd responding to H-Bomber Guy?
With his Fallout 3 video, kinda. A lot of people will frame it as a response to H-Bomber Guy, but it seems to be a general response to negative criticism of Fallout 3. He only brings up H-Bomber Guy like 2 or 3 times, I think.
Yeah,
so
it's like,
I mean, it's still like, why isn't Mini a True Nerd in that case? Because Mini a True Nerd's thumbnail says that Fallout 3 is better than you think. It seems like he's telling us our opinion's wrong.
What you need to understand first and foremost is whenever it's in the positive, you're automatically in the plus side. Like you're thumbs up, good for you.
It's okay to
We learned this with Cinema Sins versus Cinema Wins. Cinema Wins is automatically a better man. Yeah,
it's okay. If it's a positive opinion, that's cool. If it's a negative opinion, you're opinionated. That's how it goes.
Yeah. That's something I learned from these videos. You can say anything you want as long as you're positive about it. If you say anything negative, then it's automatically bad because it's negative.
The most fascinating example of this to this day is the video from H-Bomber Guy. Let me check it as well. I've said this again and again and again. It fucking blew my mind at the time. Bloodborne H-Bomber Guy. If I remember correctly... Yeah, the video is called Bloodborne is Genius, and here's why. Holy shit, what an agreeable title. Everyone loves Bloodborne. Excellent. And I'm pretty sure it's in this video that he makes the whole shield argument that is absolutely fucking batshit insane. Like, that's like the premise of the whole video. That's why Bloodborne is genius. Bloodborne teaches you that shields are stupid. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I remember watching it with friends and being like, how is this the substance for why Bloodborne is genius? Well, and like most people just agree with the title and like that he's being positive, when in reality he's saying Dark Souls 1 shouldn't be played with shields. It's like, what the fuck? It was a wacky time. And that was a big realization for me about how like your title and thumbnail can almost matter more than anything you say in the video. Which isn't good, by the way.
Yeah, which is why I don't put statements in my titles or thumbnails, because I don't want people to come to conclusions just based on that.
Well, it kind of supports the idea that having made a video saying Fallout 3 is better than you think, everyone's like, ooh, that's nice. And then saying Fallout 3 isn't better than you think, you go, okay, well...
I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, you're a mean old mister. You look at
but
you
was it as good as I remember?
I am very mean.
Out on Emil Pagliarulo himself. Well, great. Maybe an expert is just what this situation...
Okay, well, I mean, we already did the whole, like, he's not an expert thing, so why is he framing it like this?
Because he's going to present him as such, and then he's going to point out how bad Creetosis' arguments are. This is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. But I thought we weren't down with negativity.
No, it's different.
If you're an asshole.
If you're tearing down someone who is tearing down something, that means you're doing something positive.
Okay, so it's like a double negative.
Yes.
Yeah, this is like it's like shooting a murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You've added to the world by removing a remover. You see?
Creetosis has a long-running stream/podcast where he focuses on criticizing.
I love the slow scroll.
Where he focuses on being a mean person.
Hey, fun.
Man, he's doing more to advertise Stag than Creetosis has in this stream.
That's true.
If you want to do a nice scroll effect for your video, instead of like using your scroll wheel to scroll and scroll reset, you can actually hold down the middle mouse, and then you could drag the mouse down. And depending on how far you drag the mouse, you'll smoothly scroll at different speeds when you're in a browser.
Also screen capture the entire page as an image and put that into your video.
Zoom and like, yeah.
There's solutions to this problem.
Or you can just scroll.
But he doesn't give a fuck because Creetosis isn't the main target of the video.
Dang, Creetosis, you're just the appetizer.
Other people's YouTube videos.
The true villain.
Why do you phrase it like that? Other people's YouTube videos. What is that? Yeah, commonly. Most YouTube videos are not my own.
Are not mine, yeah.
Which is great, because that surely means he won't have any problem with me doing the same to one of his videos.
Oh, chill.
I always love that statement, as though it's like they want to skip to the part where look at these guys who criticize. They're not very good at taking it. It's like you haven't proven that yet. We haven't even criticized this yet.
I'm desperate for you to say anything, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm starting to get rid of this.
I mean, this isn't personal.
Oh my god, just get to the fucking point.
Just say why Creetosis is an asshole already.
Yes.
Jeez.
We're ready to agree, I'm sure of it.
I'll say it myself if you fucking get on with it. I'm an asshole. Now get on with it.
I'm just on a quest for truth, and I could do with some expert opinion to help.
Yes.
Creetosis has produced 9 hours of YouTube content about Emil Pagliarulo.
Okay.
8.
That's fine.
So,
all right.
It's worth pointing out right now that this is a little bit disingenuous because the video there on the side, breaking down Emil Pagliarulo's writing speech, is the entire segment from part 2 of my Fallout 4 analysis. I just cut that entire thing out as a clip and posted it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, buddy. If you had made 100 hours on that speech,
I think don't you say that at the start of that video?
I do say that at the start of the video. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not even he didn't even need to fact check it. Creetosis said it for him.
But why are we pretending like this is almost like criticism? Like, look how much he's focused on this. It's like that's fine. The writing speech.
Well, he's going to get to the part where I talked about him for 20 hours. Spoilers.
Whoa.
We talked about Jebby Nichols for 12 hours. As the
we talked about it for 10,000 years, Rags, okay?
Hours of which are focused on this.
Can we get an objective? Like, what's the number? How many hours is appropriate to talk about somebody?
It's inverse to the person's age or something. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of insulting to imply that Emil isn't good enough to talk about for this amount of time. So.
Well, what if it was 9 hours of veneration?
If you told me...
That's okay. That's positive.
Like, as part of like a job I need to do, that I need to make a 50-hour video on the statement, we don't play out... We play our games, we don't make them. I could do it. It's just that it might get thin at certain points, but... You know, like there's so many interpretations and so many things you can explore with that it's just frustrating that everyone decides. Have you ever seen it where the people are like, you know, if Creetosis was in university, he'd be the guy who's failed for putting in too many words.
Well, I mean, word count limit. This is YouTube and not university, huh? Where you can make it as long or as short as you want.
Well, I'll have you know that university is they put those rules in to make the videos better.
No, they put those rules in to make it possible to grade papers.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, it gets especially funny when the people they like make super long videos, and then they're like, wait.
No, wait, hold on, wait. And it's like, yeah, why don't you just, like, calm down and just admit that it's when you don't like it, then it's too long.
Well, it's one of those black-pilling experiences that we get all the fucking time is, you know, Muller or EFAP is X, or Drinker, you know, or any of the people we fucking talk to, they're X, and you're like, how do you, whoa, X, that's crazy. How do you know, what makes you say they're X? It's like, I don't fucking watch this stuff.
That one's particularly funny. I'm not going to watch it.
They say it without any sense of, like, self-introspection. They're just like, hello? What are you, how can you say that? But it's like, yeah, that's just something people always say. It's like, I ain't gonna watch this fucking shit. You kidding me? Creetosis is a big old meanie Mr. Badman. And you're like, how? You're like, well,
What a stinker.
What am I gonna do? Watch all of his stuff? That's stupid.
What am I gonna do? Fact check?
What was insane, too, was that, like, whenever we do coverage of, let's call it, like, Hassan, Synthetic Man, or whoever else, I'm like, all right, I'll watch the newest thing, or most relevant thing, and then I find, like, 1 billion references to how they're a piece of shit. Just like, well, that was easy. And it's like, you watched it. Wow, that's just crazy. I wouldn't do that. One of the best achievements we've ever had on EFAP is that there's a subreddit called Cringe, right? Just straight up Cringe. And someone posted our Jenny Nicholson coverage there and said 3 guys just misogynistically rip into a girl for having an opinion. And it got removed for irrelevancy.
It was not cringe. It was
the Cringe subreddit determined that we were not cringe.
We weren't cringe. We're not cringe enough,
well,
at least.
If Reddit approves of you.
Well,
that's true.
The thing.
That's what I've learned.
That was the one.
That Reddit is really fucking important.
That was the one time. Other than that, there's 1 billion Reddit posts about how cringe we are. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, but you got one like positive,
so one win. Yeah,
so that'll just be the one we talk about. Yeah.
This 140-minute speech, which he talks about on stream with his friends, in his Fallout 4 analysis for 1 hour, and now in a standalone video.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, see,
now,
right there.
8 hours
right there,
sounds
I don't like that. In his Fallout 4 analysis for 1 hour, and now in a standalone video, it's the same thing.
Again, though, nothing wrong with it, even if that were the case.
Well, and also there's been development
with it. It's just the fact that he's trying to portray it as 2 different things I find to be disingenuous.
Yeah, I get you.
This sounds like a lot. So let's just focus on the standalone video.
All right.
Titled Breaking Down
let's do that.
That's
writing the same thing as the
Titled Breaking Down His Writing Speech. Leave it on screen for a couple more seconds just to pad it. I'm noticing these pauses between the sentences are starting to drive me a little bit mad.
Well,
it would just be the sentence ends and then we hang on a pause for like a couple of seconds before moving on.
Well, how else is it going to be 2 hours?
It adds up. It does. You know, when you put them all together.
I just like when somebody artistically pauses.
No, it's you know what? There's a time and a place, and this one isn't that time.
Well, listen. Thank you.
Dare I say, this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the video should have began. This moment right here.
Probably. At the 44-minute mark.
At the 44 minutes. This is where
the fucking video has a drop shadow?
Why not?
What did Creetosis think of the speech?
God, you're right. Just make it full screen, you asshole.
I don't know. Well,
no, he's got to have room for the title.
Yeah, but you can put that in the video. Like, you don't have to make that below.
It's not even relevant. Why do we need the always ever-present knowledge of the title?
I don't know.
The person who sounds totally different.
See, he's not above putting words on the screen.
Ooh,
because he's putting the timestamp.
The lead writer for Bethesda.
Oh, you're right.
And has been since Fallout 3. Coincidentally, around the time where their writing started taking a nosedive, a professional writer cannot even manage to keep himself on track in a speech he himself wrote and presented. His entire presentation is a meandering, rambling, disjointed mess, not so different from the stories he writes.
Oof.
He doesn't say anything of value for anyone interested in writing.
I'm inclined to agree with the sections that were presented to me by this video trying to argue that there were valuable things in that speech.
This is a pretty good advertisement.
Yeah.
Well, so far, I mean, you guys hang around long enough. You can make a full
I like that the British man went
channels,
away.
But I'm just saying.
I like the British man went away.
And he never seems to make it around to any kind of point he's trying to make.
Well, that sounds like an incredibly uncharitable take.
No.
That's what they were saying 7 years ago when they first came out. The comments are there.
The insane part of this...
You can go there. You can see them. The comments are free. You can take them home.
I haven't seen Creetosis' fucking video. And so I'm going off what you presented to me, Mr. NeverKnowsBest, and you're telling me it's disingenuous to conclude this when it's exactly what I fucking concluded.
That's what... Yeah. We only are going off what you said. We agree with him.
And where was the charity when he was describing his channel?
That's true.
That rather sounds like it was influenced by a certain Reddit post.
Sure sounds like it. Bam! Nailed!
It's a bit of a jump.
It's fucking over, Creetosis. Guilty.
Just in the other direction.
I can reveal the secrets of this. I was aware of the Reddit post. I did not look at it at all for my breakdown of the speech.
Now I'm picturing...
because your brain probably heard the words Reddit post.
I'm picturing a court, and Creetosis is on the stand, and they're like, Mr. Creetosis, did you or did you not use the Reddit post as influence for your video on the subject? And you go, no. See how he lies? Do you see?
Do you see how he lies so boldly in front of you?
This is the extent that he will argue that the Reddit post is relevant to the Creetosis section.
Yeah, I don't think it gets brought up again, does it?
Guilty.
But I guess he's welcome to his opinion.
Well, you're welcome to make a counter argument.
It doesn't sound like he's welcome.
No, it doesn't sound like it at all.
You're kind of being a passive aggressive, but like, okay, I guess.
Let's see what specific parts of the speech Creetosis had a problem with.
Do you like the fucking fragile British man? I've brought this up so many times. This is seriously Genesis for EFAP. The fragile wounded animal in the forest telling you about gaming.
I found it really funny the way you said your name. It sounded like it was difficult for him to get it out. The way that Creetosis, like it was like he was speaking an unholy word or something.
Voldemort's name or something.
Yeah, he was struggling to get it out. There was so much disdain in forming it.
The shit that triggers me so fucking much when they're like, today, I'd like to talk about something that's very important.
I hate it. It's the worst voice.
Is there an Anglo in the room?
Why do you speak like a sniveling coward?
Just have some fucking backbone. Stop talking like you're dying. I've got to share with you this important video essay.
Creetosis, have you ever talked about NeverKnowsBest?
I don't believe so. I'm like 99% sure I never have.
Thank you.
Fuck, what was I gonna say? It was about the way he talks there. Oh god, I hate when this happens.
That it's shit, you hate it, it sucks
balls. One of the things I was going to mention was that people mentioned Anglo. That Americans are much more commonly doing this on YouTube. The American fucking video essayists are way more of a pest than the British ones.
So I remember what I was going to say. I get a lot of comments about my angry and aggressive tone in my videos, which, fair enough, I do kind of go a bit hard. But I kind of wonder if this, like, overly soft-spoken way of speaking has poisoned people, like, against actual emotions. Where if anyone talks...
As long as it's fragile emotions.
The thing is it was something... I think I read it in a Tony Robbins book. It was something to do with, like, you know, there are different kind of ways that people will connect with other people. That there's visual and auditory, and then I think it was kinesthetic or something. But there was something in there that was interesting. It was the idea that there are people who are way more the tone of voice will inform it dramatically more than what is actually said, which is kind of an interesting thing to think about. That you could say some of the harshest shit ever, but if you say it in a tone of voice that doesn't seem harsh, then you can get away with it. Meanwhile, you can say something pretty inoffensive in a more harsh and aggressive way, and then it's like people pick up on the harshness and aggressiveness of the manner of speaking over whether or not the thing that was said was even that harsh at all. Where you could have someone be like, "Oh, you know, I'm just the inoffensive British man, and Mola, you're a fucking piece of shit, and I hate you so much."
That was your fragile voice. You got to be like,
yeah, it was pretty rough. Yeah, you gotta.
Fringy kills children regularly, and that's horrible. And I think we should.
I don't see the relevance of you railing against his mom with that harsh tone of voice, but it had to be aggressive based on the way you were talking.
Well, the reverse is just speaking confidently and saying like, "Wow, you're a clown." People are like, "Whoa,
that's gonna come up."
Whoa,
I'd be like, "Wow, chill out, calm down."
You called him a clown.
Please say that.
No, he's absolutely tone policing with this. He thinks that because we don't speak in soft tones that we're being more disrespectful or what have you.
Well, this has been a bit of a curse for me in my career because I do that in my videos, not just for making sure the points come through clearly, but also for entertainment. And then people, when they meet me, are like, "Wow, you're so much more chill than in your videos." And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not that guy 24/7. Like that would be weird.
That guy's a bit high maintenance, you know? Like I can't always have this fucking personality. I'm usually caffeinated.
But then if you have the person who's like, oh jeez, oh my goodness, oh. And then you meet them in a call and they're like, hey man, and you're like, oh, I expected you to be like halfway through dying, but I guess, yeah, you're just fine.
He sounds like he's
oh,
crying.
I'm glad you're better, man.
He sounds like he's on the verge of tears every sentence.
I know.
Well, it's kind of like it's like what Puss in Boots, right? When he does the little the sad eyes after trying to kill Shrek, or he does the sad eyes right before he fights all the gods. That's like what the strategy is.
Yeah, this because we've all noticed it. It was with we'll rewind it as well. The way he pronounces Creetosis he says it as though it's a difficult thing for him to do. Creetosis.
By a certain Reddit post, but I guess he's welcome to his opinion. Let's see what specific parts of the speech Creetosis had a problem with.
Why does he do it like that?
This fucker.
Creetosis.
This piece of actual shit.
I just don't know what to do with you.
I also want to point out something quickly before we continue. He says what specific parts of the speech I have a problem with, and the very next clip he's going to show is to do with the intro that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah.
He also wastes some time rambling about how his parents came to the city he's doing the speech in on a vacation, and how this country he's visiting is a place where games are made. I suppose he's trying to endear himself to the audience, but it's just not necessary.
This is the very first piece of real criticism Creetosis presents, and I would like you to pay attention
it doesn't feel necessary, which is true.
Well, it's very...
I'm allowed to feel that way.
So this is going to be difficult now, because I need to separate how I feel about what you've said without feeling at all what this video is trying to frame you as. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what do I think about what you just said? I just feel like, I don't know, I don't think much of it. Like, there's not much... Like, it feels more like an intro statement.
it's not really much of a thing, is it?
Would you describe it as an offhand comment?
Essentially, yeah. To the point where your assessment of that portion of his speech, if I hadn't heard any of the speech, wouldn't change anything about my opinion of what's about to come. Like, say, you say that, and then you attack something he says after it. I wouldn't be thinking about that first thing you said. I would just be thinking about it as a way for you to say, that part was that. I'm now moving on to this part.
Well, listen, he just has a problem with how he's starting his video, okay? NeverKnowsBest knows how to start a video, and Creetosis just doesn't.
That's true. I should learn from the best.
45 minutes.
I'm starting to think he never knows best.
What? What?
It's framed. Emil does praise the city where the conference is, Copenhagen, and says that he's always wanted to come here because his parents once went on holiday.
What is this? What's this? Why?
Rags, to be fair, Az says says, and Lil Platoon says says. Yeah. Says.
I'm just more distracted by, like, why are we spending any time in the video on this?
I don't know.
I need to rebut the point that was made that he fucking rambles at the beginning of the speech.
Emil was harassed because Creetosis brought this up, okay?
I can't wait till you guys see where this is going.
Okay, now I'm really excited.
Let's see what else he says.
And when they returned, it was the happiest he ever saw them. He then talks about and praises some of the games made in Denmark.
The happiest I ever saw my parents had nothing to do with me.
Because this is a Danish game.
I want to emphasize, they went on a vacation without him.
Yeah, it was the happiest they'd ever been, by his admission.
Oh. Wait, they made... What are you talking about Subway Surfers? Was that, like, games he'd made in the past? Did he make...
No, he's talking about games that are made
in Denmark.
Oh, Denmark.
He wrote them...
So they're responsible for Subway Surfers.
Yeah, they're to blame.
Conference, primarily focused on Danish video games. Now, I would describe this as just, being nice and saying hello to the audience.
Yes,
really?
Actually.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Can I just say, by the way, so the vibe we're getting here is the Creetosis makes offhand assessment of portion that's not relevant, and then he's like, yeah, well, you know what? My offhand assessment of that portion is nicer than yours. It's like, okay.
Your Honor, relevance.
Yet Creetosis describes this as...
He also wastes some time rambling about how his parents came to the city he's doing the speech in on a vacation.
That is a perfectly
So he was
reasonable...
mean and you were nice.
It's a perfectly reasonable point of view to have when you think the whole thing is focused on, like, the fucking perspective on how to write games.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Emil's parents.
I don't give a shit about other games made in Denmark. But like, this is what I mean. If someone said like, "Whoa, so they can't do that," it's like, well, you can, but I'm also entitled to say that it's irrelevant.
It's a place where games are made. I suppose he's trying to endear himself to the audience, but it's just not necessary.
So,
that's
according to
you even like qualified. This is so little to take issue with.
Creetosis, Emil is wasting time rambling, trying to endear himself to the audience.
Probably, yes.
As if being nice is something bad and manipulative.
That's not
whoa.
This guy's got some demons that he's fighting with. All right.
Damn.
This guy is... What do you mean? Do you have a problem with people being nice?
Yes, he's used the power of divination to find out my true feelings. The fact that he's trying to be endearing is clearly a fucking insidious manipulation.
I was about to say, like, it's like, do we even bother saying straw man? It feels like a fucking cliche. Like, that's not what he said. You said something else.
And all of this is just not necessary.
Yeah.
Well, thank God we have resident Emil expert Creetosis here to decode what Emil...
You can... Wait.
Mr. Creetosis, have you ever said that you are the resident Emil expert?
I've never claimed to be an expert about anything.
Do you see how he lies? Look at him, lying yet again.
Do you see how he lies?
Lying.
Ooh, look. Do you see how he lies?
I'm sorry.
Also,
here.
Never Knows Best. Huge like advice thing, and this goes for everyone in chat. This goes for everyone on the cast. You are the amount of power you have to make fun of someone after you prove them wrong. You got to prove them wrong first, then you can make fun of them.
Skip the first.
Yeah, you can't just make fun of them.
You have to tear them down before you can kick them while they're on the ground. All right.
Yeah, you have to get them on the ground.
If you try to kick them on the ground while they're like standing on the second story, it's not going to work. You just end up kicking the air and looking really bad.
Because I think he thinks that when he said he's talking about games from Denmark, that's why it's relevant. It's like, that doesn't mean it's relevant.
Yeah, it's not relevant to the speech about writing
no.
in video games.
What's the fucking story of Subway Surfers? That's relevant.
I think we all know the story of Subway Surfers.
That's true.
We don't even have to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is something that stood out to me, but why is he showing the channel again on screen?
Well,
because you're the resident expert.
He wants to make sure people understand where to find you.
Yeah, that was essentially my takeaway from it is, okay, I'm talking about how shit this person is. By the way, here's their channel so you can go find
That is
them.
a bit weird for someone who said, do not... Because, like, there's no benefit to showing this unless you want to make sure people know who you are.
Well, it's extra work. You're creating extra work for yourself by putting it on screen and doing the zoom in.
Maybe he just wants to emphasize that he's a smaller creator.
Yeah, look at how smaller this creator is, guys.
He did show the channel at the start of the section on me, and that makes sense because, okay, this is the person I'm talking about. This is what their channel looks like. That makes sense. I'm fine with that. What he's doing right here, he does a couple more times throughout the section, especially towards the end. It's like...
Yeah, and also surely by his own metric.
Well, listen, at least he's got the Patreon link on screen.
Yeah, he can help you out.
Hell yeah, man.
Surely by his own metric, the smaller a quote-unquote channel is, the less you should be placing it on screen, right?
Well, no, because he just put some guy's Reddit name on there, and guess what happened to that guy?
Yeah, well, you know what? Some guy said some bad things. So how about that? About
True.
that?
Means, and to decide what is and isn't necessary to talk about at a Danish games conference.
Bro, that's what all of us individually decide. That's what you've decided.
He decided it was relevant. Yeah.
Exactly. Why are you saying it like that? Like, how could Creetosis possibly know what's relevant at a Swedish game conference? Like,
pass judgment on what is or isn't relevant.
They're talking about like the writing in fucking Subway Surfers, and then they just have like clowns come on screen and just juggle. And you're like, I don't see how relevant this is. Like, how would you know? Are you Swedish? You're like, I guess you're right. I don't know.
You know what? I'm not Swedish. Juggle on.
Swedish clowns? More power to you.
I mean, taking 30 seconds to acknowledge the contributions of Danish game developers? Unnecessary. Keep it on topic, i.e. Bethesda. And if
it feels like you just justified the argument. You've just said, like, well, it didn't take long. Like, oh, so you feel like there's merit then to the idea that this isn't relevant to talking about the writing in Bethesda? it's okay to accept that it's a harsh perspective to have, but that you understand where it comes from.
If any Danish game developer has a problem with that, tough. Get your own games conference. I mean, get another...
What is this argument?
Why? Why do you read so far into it and then invent shit?
What a bizarre
Stop.
thing to say. Oh, that's a shitty logo.
It's just irrelevant. Like, come on.
Games conference. This one isn't about you.
I don't mind that.
You think just because you make...
Wait.
Oh yeah, we're here.
Man, he is. This is unhinged. What is this?
This guy's got some issues.
Like, what happened? It was just like, hey, he just kind of rambled a bit about, like, he was just rambling at the beginning of his speech.
It really is blink and you miss it with this particular part.
Well, that's why this is the perfect podcast.
That was probably unnecessary. Denmark. How insane would it be for him to praise some of the greatest games ever? Like, what the... He just said it was rambling.
Get a lot of spare time in between world wars to be neutral in, so fine.
Your own games conference. I mean, get another games conference. This one isn't about you. Oh,
yeah,
you think just because you make award-winning games like Inside and Hitman, that's enough for someone to acknowledge that you exist?
What are we talking about?
He's run off. He's run off.
What is happening?
He's off in his own little fucking world.
No, just enjoy the ride.
I was just saying this little bit isn't relevant.
South Park. There was an episode of South Park where it established in the canon of the South Park world that Denmark is the Canada of Europe. They're cold. It's a cold country, and people often forget about them. And also, they have the same kind of disconnected head, like flappy mouth thing that the Canadians do in the South Park world. And they brought them in to replace Canada when Canada went on strike because they wanted some internet money. We want more money. Yeah, more money. God, that episode's great. That's the one where they went to like get the YouTube money, and there was all of the early 2006-7 internet celebrities. Remember Chocolate Rain guy getting into a fight?
I fucking remember that episode. Yeah,
and the Tron guy and the Star Wars kid and the panda.
Which, by the way, have gone from not only old to like really old to super old to the point where it's like, dude, how many people in chat would even know
Most
those
people
ones?
probably don't even know, about like the sneezing panda thing or Afro Ninja or any of these ones.
The what's it? The beaver. The
the gopher. The intense gopher.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be. Maybe that's not a good idea to find out how many people don't know about it. It would make us feel old. We don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. The purpose of your entire country is to talk about Bethesda, and don't
stop. Calm down.
Is this supposed to be his impression of you?
Yeah, he's inferred all this insane shit.
It's not very good. It's like his voice has changed.
I can't believe I'm saying this because it's just like I told you, my initial perspective was like it's offhand, I don't care about it. But now he's making me analyze you. I'm like, so what Creetosis was saying was that under the guise of a speech about writing disciplines, he doesn't see the value in talking about how Denmark is responsible for other games.
No, listen, it's an ARG. He's trying to prove to Creetosis what irrelevant actually looks like by going on an irrelevant tangent.
I love how I do see the point of view that it's a trap, but to me this fits perfectly with an inept idiot like trying to make a response.
Because why have we put so much into just an offhand observation about how it was kind of a rambly intro to like, wow, what a piece of shit you are for downplaying the accomplishments of Denmark. What the hell is this?
That's funny.
What is this?
You guys ever forget that?
But he never said
what's with the
conference
fucking
just has to be about Bethesda.
Dude, that pregnant fucking pause. Holy shit. I just want everyone to appreciate that.
Absolutely not. The purpose of your entire country is to talk about Bethesda, and don't you guys ever forget that.
It's so forced.
It's very forced, yeah.
The way his voice is almost
there again.
That was you getting carried away.
Okay. God, it's okay. It was a meme. It was a meme.
It was a meme that was carried away.
Well, it was a meme that was obviously meant to belie some sort of real criticism that you're meant to take seriously. So, just to be clear, obviously there's a criticism there. and then it'll be like, sorry guys, I'm just memeing, I'm just joking around or something.
This gives me the energy of someone who apologizes when they say the word damn.
Anyway, Creetosis' video is too long for me to show all of it, although feel free to watch it for yourself.
Weak, cowardly, weak.
It does do quite a good job at speaking for itself. Still, the important point
I mean,
want
it's
to make
not
clear
aimed
to
at me,
people
but thank you.
is how Creetosis frames what Emil says as negatively as possible throughout the entire video and in every
like what
point.
Just happened. Is that the performance art that he just did that?
Yeah, he's teaching him how it feels.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, he's gonna verbatim say that.
Meme. That's an interesting meme.
Well, this is like a
right
meme
there.
in a meme. The meme of his used another meme. So what's the point?
Negative words mean.
Well, the
cry.
Creetosis was a mean. He's a big old mean man, and he shouldn't have been. Should have been more.
You should speak with a soft tone.
Yeah.
So
I like that he tried to speak with a harsh tone as an impression, and then like his voice started cracking.
Well, yeah, all the estrogen just like convulsed inside of his thorax and his or whatever. What's it called? The larynx.
I used to think that he was putting on an impression, but that might just be how he talks.
Oh,
it might be.
We've encountered a few people like that.
The meme, if this is the meme, what happens if you disagree with the examples that are pointed out in terms of a mountain being made out of a molehill, for instance?
Yeah, now, I'm getting confused as to what I'm supposed to be agreeing with here.
Well, I guess if this is all a big performance about like see making a mountain out of a molehill, that's what I just did. But like, yeah, but what happens if? But just because you made this example doesn't mean it's going to align with like whatever's going to be brought up next, which I'm guessing it won't be. But I suppose.
God, I wish you would just skip to like the most egregious examples of misrepresentation. But we're only 50 minutes in, so maybe I should be waiting patiently for that.
Yeah.
How did you say that? You're a longman.
What?
True.
That's not what long people are. Long people just make things long, not make things poorly paced.
What are you talking about? No, but if you're long, you're not allowed to think that anything is too long.
I didn't say it was too long. I said it took too long to say a thing.
You're not allowed to say that it took too long to say a thing if you're a longman.
But I don't take long to say stuff. I usually say things as soon as the time code starts going.
Yes, you do. You had an hour-long intro to TFA Part 1.
But that was about how everyone in the world is wrong except me.
No, it wasn't. It was an hour-long intro to TLJ Part 1 because you couldn't just get on with it.
Which would have been fine if I'd released all of it at once, because it would be like Lord of the Rings, which the ending is long, but it's fairly long.
For example, instead of saying things like Emil says, Creetosis will say Emil rambles, to make the very act of speaking in a speech somehow seem like a sin.
But what if he is rambling?
Somehow seem like a sin.
I want to point this out too. Creetosis frames everything as negatively as possible. He says rambling instead of says to make everything, or to make the act of speaking seem like a sin. He's doing to me what he just claimed I'm doing to ML.
Well,
but that's the point. You're being taught a lesson.
He's wearing the magical cloak of 6 layers of irony. Uno reverse card,
plus
so
7
no you.
defense. So yeah.
I'm rubber, you're glue, so get fucked.
We are at an interesting point of just like you said he rambled. Like, okay, well, if he had said he said the whole time, would you fucking approve of the video? This is what I mean. Like, someone could watch his speech and be like, wow, he spoke really well. And then the next person would be like, what do you mean he didn't speak well at all? Then someone else would be like, he fucking rambled. The other one would be like, no, he spoke very assertively and very consistently. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any one of those 4 people ultimately correct. It's so weird that this video advocates for, like, perspective, but then simultaneously is like, Creetosis said he rambled. What a fucking liar. Like, okay,
that's going to sound interesting.
There are some examples.
Rambling about how his parents... This is more of a rambling mess. He rambles a bit. He rambles more about...
So, I hate when people do this, when they do the compilation thing, when I'm sitting here like, there's nothing wrong with this, though.
This so this is kind of reminding me a bit of you remember the XQC thing he did with Ethan, where like he chopped out the part who wasn't responding. When you're omitting so much context, I have no idea what I'm supposed to make of any of this. What happens? Because he's saying like, oh, well, you say he rambles a lot. It's like, yeah, but I mean, are these flanked, before or after with clips of the nature of it, like showing what he said? You can describe it as a ramble, and that's one thing. But I mean, if you show examples of the things that he said, how do I know if they're there or not? He's just chopped out all the parts where it's saying you're rambling. This is not very useful to me.
Yeah. What if he's accurately describing Emil's rambling?
Well, but
what happens now?
What this is...
It wasn't rambling, and we played the clips.
What this ultimately is he said, Creetosis claims he's rambling when he's just speaking. Here's my evidence. He's rambling. He's rambling. He's rambling. He's rambling. He's rambling. See? I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck have you proven? Nothing. Like,
I don't see anything. I don't understand what you're... Like, I have no information.
Admittedly, I probably do use rambling too much there, but most times I'm just using it as shorthand for either whatever ML is saying is useless to the discussion, so I'm skipping it, but here's a really brief summary of what it is. Yeah.
Sounds like he's a bit of a rambler.
Yeah.
Or I use it to mean he takes too long to get to his point, which he often does, as you can see from the clips you've seen already.
I'll have you know that I, completely unrelated to this, I watched a video summarizing Emil's points, and it cut out the vast majority of the video. I can't imagine if there was any reason for that.
Well, he didn't cherry pick his examples in that one, okay?
No.
Creation of Fallout 4, and it takes a lot of inane rambling to get to this point. There's more rambling, he pauses a lot, and there's also a lot of rambling and repetition here that I'm cutting out. And rambles about how every game developer rambles again. There's yet more...
He's upset you're using the word ramble?
Dude, that's skip. That's skip.
It's a good, 12 minutes there.
Rambling from ML.
This is a pretty fucking good video. Of the issue with it is that he says the word ramble too much.
Yeah.
He rambles.
It was pretty good, I guess.
God his ass.
The ramble per minute is about a 10 right now.
That one's interesting.
I mean, a ramble per hour.
There he rambles. It's like, oh, so a clip got played before this, right?
Oh, Lord, he rambling.
Skyrim's intro. He fucking rambles a lot. He rambles about how much of this, yet even more rambling, the meandering.
Yet even more rambling. So that's another one that would have been preceded by a clip. Which again, if you show the clip and then call it rambling, surely that's better to being not a problem at all compared to not showing it and just paraphrasing every single thing.
You would have to give me examples of what Emil says, and then what Creetosis calls rambling, and then show how this isn't rambling. It's actually extremely relevant.
Interesting thing, he is going to bring up an example, and I can explain the context on that. Context he leaves out.
Someone has just said Mola's done this, played 15 examples when 3 to 4 would do. My issue isn't at all that he's playing several examples. It's that I don't mind being proven. If he said to me, like, I can prove to you that Creetosis often describes him as rambling, I'd be like, I don't care. Why would that change anything?
What happens to just control F'ing the transcript to see the number of times he said it? That would be sufficient.
Why would you do that?
To save time?
But it doesn't have the same punch as just playing it a lot.
What he said.
This is a video that the first half basically didn't have to
I'm learning so much.
Because if he had said Creetosis often refers to him as a giant inflatable tube man, I'd be like, what? And then they show 15 examples of that. I'd be like, why did you do that?
To be fair, that would be more entertaining to see on stage than ML.
Yes.
Disjointed mess.
I would like to point out that Creetosis' summary of Emil's speech is longer than Emil's speech, and if you're
of course, because he's responding to it while
it's not a summary.
He's breaking it down.
Yep.
It's not a summary.
How can it? If you're playing clips and responding to it, very much more than likely going to be fucking longer.
What is he about to say because of that?
Oh, God, you know what he's going to say.
Yeah, this is particularly just triggering because this is just we get this all the fucking time.
Even more rambling, the meandering, rambling, disjointed mess.
I would like to point out that
I love that he ends on disjointed mess and then has a disjointed cut.
Yeah, but that was an artistic choice.
Yes.
His summary of Emil's speech is longer than Emil's speech, and if your summary is longer than the original, I don't think you can really criticize others for rambling.
I mean, if it was a summary, that might be a point. Yeah, but it's not a summary.
It's not a point even with a summry. Make the summary as long as it needs to fucking be. Holy shit!
Is that why his part on the speech was so short?
Well, it's just
he has the self-imposed rule.
if it is longer, it is as or more unnecessarily long. It is as or more like unnecessarily filled with fluff words and restatements that are worthless. I just find that funny. There's no point here. It's a non sequitur.
A significant level of, like, a powerful political person made a speech that was 5 minutes long declaring war, and your summary of what just happened in that speech was 10 minutes. Like, it's pretty rambly, bro. I have some things to say. That's all.
Well, yeah. If you were summarizing and including the context, but at that point, it might break out of being a summary and start to be an explainer.
At that point. Well, let me just come back to the fact that even from the clips he's shown, Creetosis is clearly analyzing it, not just summarizing it.
Yeah.
I also just think it's hilarious he calls it a summary while showing it on screen where it's titled both
Breaking Down
in the title and the thumbnail Breaking Down, which implies it's different from, like, come on, Never Knows Best. You're not this stupid. You're not a child.
Is just a lie. That's just a lie.
Yeah, this one's complicated in terms of, like, is this incompetence? Like, Never Knows Best knows what English are. Like, so, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say that it's incompetence.
Still, a lot of this video is about Creetosis' opinions on the Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Okay.
And those parts are fine. They are just his opinion on those games, and that is something he is perfectly entitled to.
Thank you for permission.
The other parts can be broadly categorized into 3 groups.
Yeah.
The first is petty personal attacks against Emil.
Not you, though.
Anyways, back to the stupid speech.
Did you think maybe you were being too cruel when you said that? Do you regret putting that in your video?
You realize Emil probably put a minor amount of work into this speech.
I wasn't cruel enough. The meanness will continue until morale improves.
I can't fucking believe this, man. You're getting hung up on, like, he said he was stupid. How rude is that?
That's so petty to call someone stupid.
He does a compilation of insults later. I don't know why he wouldn't pick something that's more, like, scathing than, oh yeah, the speech is dumb.
You'll notice when watching this that he didn't actually say anything of substance. He shows
is that a
one
personal
of the most
attack?
Recognizable faces of anime.
It's not a petty
people
personal
might not
attack.
recognize him. I don't even need to comment on how fucking retreaded this is.
Oh, that's the picture he uses? Yeah, I would have been like,
what
I've seen that guy before.
I find it difficult to play your stuff too.
Is that a personal attack?
Ooh, that was pretty fucking petty of you, bro. You better...
Dang, you're making negative criticism about the product that he's selling to you for money.
If he had made a video about me and said, like, you called someone a cabbage, that's pretty petty. I'd be like, I don't even know what to say to you.
I mean, like, I guess, like,
you got me. It's that fucking meme from Breaking Bad. You got me.
I'll call him a more noble vegetable next time.
I would love to see someone fucking scathing and upset about being called a cabbage.
Insufferable.
Then there are parts where he either inadequately summarizes Emil or takes things he says out of context.
So you probably should have opened with this. This is the substance.
Why not actually matters?
You finally, we're here. The 3 first, because it's easy to forget that he's listing out 3 things.
Right.
To try to make Emil sound stupid, or to just make the speech sound nonsensical.
Okay. He rambles more about the creation of Fallout 4 in Boston, lists some places he knew, and even says he put his bedroom from when he was a kid into the game. Not sure what this has to do with story writing, but okay.
This, by the way, relates to story writing because he's talking about drawing from personal experience in his writing, this time with growing up in Boston.
Story.
That's not, that's
not a story. That's just like an
Easter egg.
That's like that's like an Easter egg that only he fucking cares.
I was about to say, it's like a personal Easter egg, which is the worst kind of Easter egg, yeah.
And the part about his bedroom is just a lie.
Because to clarify, because I'm just going from what he has summarized your video as, Creetosis, you're saying, I don't know what him including his bedroom in a game has to do with writing advice.
Largely that, and also the whole section about places in Boston he knows. I'm highlighting that because I'm going to bring it up after this next clip.
And then moving on to, well, he said, write what you know. So if you lived in a place, put that place into the game, that counts as writing? It's like, this is a bit of a leap, I think. This is just a bit silly.
Light-hearted joke. Creetosis, if you're ever unsure how to identify jokes, A good way is to just listen to whether the audience laughs.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Isn't it really funny? Isn't it funny, like the whole, look at all the personal attacks that he makes, and then he does it, but he does it in kind of like a little softer tone, and then it just slides by.
Remember, he's doing it. He's doing it to defend something too. So he's.
Oh, that's true. So
he's
it's
being
okay.
negative on a negative, which is a positive.
Tactics. You can use the same strategies as long as you're using them against the bad guy.
How is Emil talking about him putting his room in the game? How is that a joke? That's not a joke. That's a description of a thing.
Well, it's something that the audience laughed at, therefore a joke, therefore something you shouldn't take seriously.
Oh, so I also is all that I'm getting from that.
I also hope that he doesn't misidentify a joke later in this video.
And also, how is Creetosis supposed to identify a joke if he's alone then?
Well, that's funny, but also
he's not an audience.
Audience can
put a laugh track in.
But audiences can laugh for things a lot more than just jokes, like things that can be funny when they're not jokes. You know what I mean? Like a reality that's
nervous
amusing.
Laughter.
Yeah, there's that too.
Here's context.
And that is where I grew up. Humble Place. That's the street I grew up. And of course, I had to put my bedroom in the game. Right?
That's your bedroom?
Yeah, that wasn't a joke. So, that's not a joke.
That wasn't a joke.
This is one of the things I want to highlight. So he's criticizing me for cutting context. I said he was rambling about how he lived in Boston and he knew places. There's significantly more to that from ML that he leaves out. ML talks about Fenway Park. He talks about the Swan Boat, some other location. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Point is, he rambles, and I cut it for time.
It's interesting because you paraphrase, and then he's like, that's an inaccurate paraphrase. Let me show why with my paraphrasing of what he said, rather than just showing the clip and letting you judge for yourself whether you think that he was rambling or not.
Well, what I
do find that kind of interesting.
From the clip is that why the audience are laughing is that he says, this is my bedroom, and it presents just a mattress in a room. It's like, oh, yeah it's quite a bedroom. Then it's like, oh, so he was joking. It's like, just because people are laughing doesn't mean it's a joke. It could mean that it's actually kind of funny because it's sad. Just a little bit, you that would be your bedroom.
Oh, and I guess the more relevant part would be, well, it's not, it's there is something that he's trying to make as a point in its totality, right? The whole, right, what you know, see? And I put this in there, and I knew that. So it's not like it's irrelevant. It's not like it's completely pointless in the grand scheme of whatever.
Well, I would argue that's a malformed version of right what you know. That's as we said, a personal Easter egg. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but his whole thing about living in Boston doesn't actually really relate to anything there, because again, he lists locations he's familiar with, but anyone scouting a location to put in a game would naturally visit landmarks in like local places people know. The developers from New Vegas did this, and that's why Good Springs looks like the real life Good Springs.
Well, like location scouts for video games are pretty common at this point. Like basically every open world game or game set in a real world location, and even not a real world location, like will have location scouting and taking photos for reference.
Yeah, so his experience living in Boston doesn't really, like knowing those landmarks doesn't really contribute to anything. They're just places that people are going to be aware of.
I mean, let alone if you're writing it for a post-apocalypse story that's set like 200 years in the future. In an alternate history world anyway, right? Isn't Fallout like alternate history going into the future? Yeah.
More examples like this.
He has said great games are played, not made, like a dozen times in this section, some of which are in sentences that trail off and don't get completed.
So you said it was a dozen when it says there that it's 4, so you fucked up.
Also,
I bet you hit the 4th time hearing that dumb motto, and you're like, geez, how many times has it been now?
Well, and he can't police people on hyperbole, given the whole most infamous speech thing, resident expert thing.
Is the whole big spiel about how this game conference should be dedicated to Bethesda. It was a little bit of hyperbole. I didn't count the number of times he said great games are played, not made, but it did seem like a bunch.
How dare you?
And I'm not even sure if this is an accurate count, because I think there might be 1 or 2 times in there where ML says great games played, not made, missing the R, so it's not going to come up in the transcript.
Well, it was something that he was saying here before it paused, that he often just trailed off, that the sentences would end before they were completed.
He would have understood it was a joke.
We saw that in the clips that he showed earlier in this video. He did just trail off and stop talking.
He would have understood it was a joke if you included a laugh track.
Oh, okay, I'll do that next time.
Yeah,
I'll just put a laugh track over the entire video. If anyone is unsure of if anything's a joke, I can just write it off as a joke, and
nailed it.
Yeah.
This is something else.
Making sure we remember that you are truly interacting with them.
Dang, that was one of those chunky
This is the
Logitech
experience.
keywords.
The player has a controller in their hand, and they can alter the narrative whenever they want.
No, they can't. They literally cannot alter the narrative anytime they want. What the actual fuck are you talking about, you clown?
Whoa.
Yeah, because it's literally true. You can't just alter the narrative of a video game.
This was in the section of misrepresenting him.
Yeah.
It sounds like
and then it was a personal attack.
That's
what I'm saying. He fucks the stuff up.
I don't know if you know, but calling someone a clown is a slur, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a racist slur, so you need to shut that down.
The context for
EFAP lore.
this is Emil talking about the interactive nature of games as a medium. Hence, make sure to remember players can always alter the narrative whenever they want.
Okay,
so he just said that you couldn't though.
Just to recap for everybody, Emil says you can alter the narrative. Creetosis says that's retarded. No, you can't. And then in defense of him, NeverKnowsBest says yes, you can.
Yeah, he just restates what he said. That's not a response.
So when I covered this, I took this as talking about Fallout 4 because this is a speech about Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a game where you can't alter the narrative with the push of a button. You could join 4 factions, and that's pretty much the extent of the choice you have in this game. It is pathetic, especially for a game series.
It's like, how do I alter the narrative of Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, that's
actually alter the narrative of also most games.
The answer to this is it depends on what is meant by alter the narrative. If he was to argue, you could just turn the game off. That alters the narrative. I'd be like, oh my god.
It feels like you
can spend 50 hours making shacks. That
alters the narrative.
That's right.
And in my response to this video, I included the example of if he's talking about all games, and if I jump off a cliff and die in Halo, that's not altering a narrative. I get sent back to the checkpoint and continue the story.
Yeah,
the game aggressively make sure that you complete the narrative.
It was emergent storytelling. It was emergent storytelling.
Seriously, though, like some people are like, well, obviously he's referring to like significant choices or whatever, and just be like, I mean, the impression I got from him was that the fact that it's a game means people can alter the narrative at any point in conjunction with the whole building things thing. Meaning that the second they step off from the guided tour of what the story is, they are altering the narrative, which, as far as I'm concerned, is not something most people would agree with. Like, if you do a side quest that's not relevant to the main plot, that doesn't mean you're altering the narrative.
It's as generous as saying, well, you play the role of this character, so it's a role-playing game.
Right.
You can choose which weapon you shoot, so it's a game about choice.
You are the role of dropping blocks in a big thing, so Tetris is an RPG. You're like, no.
Creetosis instead presents this as if Emil is making an absolute claim. These kinds of examples are tiresome and dishonest.
Well, show us the context that was hidden.
Yeah, what you showed us was not a good thing for you to do.
Like I said, what I have to go on from what you showed me is the building a shack means that they've fucked up the story, which matches the altering the narrative thing. But I don't agree that alters the narrative. So tell me what I'm missing, Mr. Video Maker.
But it can be hard to identify if these result from a failure of Creetosis' reading comprehension, leading to him genuinely misunderstanding.
Listen,
personal attack.
I shouldn't want to make fun of you for being retarded, but if you are, please seek help. That's what he's saying.
I'm so concerned.
I said it so nicely that I'm not.
Once again, hypocrisy.
Oh, it's just it's what Fringy said several times. It's this bullshit where you get to be meaner because you're the quote unquote positive one.
And also because you're responding, you're the protagonist, the hero of this story, playing the evil dragon.
Well, and everyone has tried to pull this card of, I won't call them retarded. I will instead say, oh, Jesus, I didn't realize you might be retarded. I'm so sorry. If you're retarded, I didn't know. I didn't realize that's why you're so stupid.
You were retarded because of the retarded things you said. Oh,
well,
my
and
bad.
It's not even like mistaking. Yeah. He said it was issues with reading. It's issues with listening. If he was right,
didn't we already establish he's got issues with reading? He said it was a summary when it was a breakdown. explicitly.
Yeah, and that is reading.
Oh, yeah,
that is actually reading.
As we considered, what if you have dyslexia? You know,
Oof. What if he's just like, I didn't
that's very
entertain the
ableist
idea
of
that
him.
you might just be a piece of
what
shit.
if you had to drop out of school to get a job or something to help?
Yeah, that's right. What if Creetosis and his
hospital bills,
12 brothers and sisters living in their shack in Humboldt Street or wherever the fuck you grew up? But maybe he had to. You're right. Drop out of school. He had to get a job washing dishes, just like like whoever the fuck the protagonist was in Robots.
You might have giga autism and you're making fun of him, which is really not cool.
Maybe Creetosis is neurodivergent.
Oof.
I'm literally neurodivergent.
Going around into becoming an insult because they insist on us using it.
I can't wait until it's the new retarded.
What's funny is in Buffy, one of the earlier episodes, someone to insult another person says, "Are you mentally challenged?" It's like, wasn't that at one point a nice way of putting it? It's like mentally challenged. It became like an insult.
Or if this is instead a deliberate attempt to purposefully misrepresent Emil to make...
Well, there you go, Creetosis. Either you're a retard or you're a malicious liar.
Or you're a liar.
Choose.
Well, and he assumed up front that he was being malicious.
You can't even commit and say you're an evil retard either. You have to be one or the other.
Yeah, why can't I be both, damn it? Let me be an achiever.
Just to be clear, that they're not mutually exclusive. You can be an evil retard. Give Creetosis some credit here, you know?
Make him look as bad
I
as
have
possible.
experience dealing with evil retards.
Oh.
I think we all do now.
Regardless, the final type of example is similar, except it involves misrepresenting...
What compelling gameplay.
He didn't even prove that you were an evil retard. He moved on.
He just is.
Yeah. He just
deal with it.
All right, you know, I
Emil's
get
key points or writing rules so that Creetosis can make an argument against them to discredit them. Here is Creetosis on Keep It Simple, Stupid.
Okay.
This is a pretty good
Pay attention to the
phrase.
timestamps.
I like it, as it applies to, well, just about everything. Except fucking story writing. As far as this phrase goes, it absolutely does not apply to story writing. In the creation of fiction, the more complex and detailed the world, events, and characters are, the better.
I
I
don't agree with that.
I agree with that.
No, don't agree with that.
I don't think
In a
things get...
Fallout game?
No, in storytelling in general,
storytelling.
and including in Fallout, potentially, no.
Yeah, I don't see what Fallout, how that would change in Fallout context.
Yeah,
complexity is complicated in terms of like rating. Say, for example, you put a Lord of the Rings against a Matrix, and you're like, which one's more complicated? Say they were both as good as you think they're both excellent. It's like, so which is more complicated is the answer to which one's better. I'd be like, whoa. I don't even know that would give you any kind of answer. I can understand why you would have come to a conclusion like that, but I feel that it's more complicated than that. You know, like the simplistic fairy tales and stuff. Someone said like
Aesop's Fables and stuff like that. Aesop's Fables is better than Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness is considerably more complicated than The Tortoise and the Hare. That's a better story, or The Grasshopper and the Ants, or any given like straightforward parable or anything like that. Simplicity and complexity don't necessarily tell us anything about whether or not it's good or bad.
I was going to bring up what this chatter brought up, the Dune movie. It's quite a complex story it could be made much simpler than it is, but it benefits from that complexity.
If it's done well,
a statement. I should have worded that differently because, there are simple stories that I like. Dread is a great movie, and the story is 90% of it is shooting people, and it's great. So.
Well, I think what's interesting about the idea of whether or not simplicity or complexity is better when it comes to storytelling, it does depend on what the writer's objectives are. Someone's pointed out complexity does not necessarily equal depth, which would be the thing that's worth pointing out.
Yes.
You can add more variables to a story, or more characters, or a more intricate plot, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have a greater amount of depth. And sometimes, like, by focusing in on a very specific... It's kind of funny, because it was in his speech, but the thing is that there's, like, so much additional context you would have to explain. If you could, like, focus in on one theme and explore that comprehensively, that one theme, you could say that that's simple, but in a certain sense, depending on how much you explore it, it can turn into, like, maybe this is the overarching theme, but then it's got all of these, like, sub-themes beneath it because of the nature of how you're exploring it. Andor's got like as an example, Andor's got a central theme, but in exploring it very comprehensively, you can break it down into different individual points of discussion. So yeah, I wouldn't say in this case that simple or more complex tells us anything necessarily.
What I would say is that if you take two stories that are both done really well, and one of them is extremely complicated and one of them is extremely simple, the very complicated story done very well is far more impressive.
We do tend to...
yeah, you can talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, to have maintained a similar level of like coherency despite many complications. We find that to be very much something that's worthy of reward.
One of the reasons why Lord of the Rings is so praiseworthy is because that's a story that's got many complicated variables being juggled all at once and being executed masterfully, compared to, nailing like an ensemble of characters. Yeah, well, that would be an example of a simple story executed really well.
Yeah.
Because it's like a very straightforward plot. It's 12 men in a room that they never leave until the very end of the film, discussing whether or not they believe a man is guilty of a crime. And you get a look into each of those characters' lives, but they are essentially static, with the exception of Juror 3. Sorry, I'm mixing them up. 3 was the racist guy, wasn't he? Wait, damn it! Except for the last guy that they convinced, I'm mixing up their names. But yeah, that would be an example of a simple story done well. Or 4. No, I think 4 was the glasses guy. Damn it! That's the point being that that's a simple story executed very well.
Kind of like the scores, like Olympic high diving. The scores that you can get for the dive you do, I think the maximum score that you can get is determined by the complexity of the dive. So perfectly executing a very easy dive can potentially lose to a very complex dive that's done quite well. So,
to emphasize, we're in a part talking about changing Immel's meaning. So he has to demonstrate why what Creetosis said was changing his meaning.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you disagreed with what he said, not that you were changing the meaning of what he said.
I've got something to say after the clip.
In the creation of fiction, the more complex and detailed the world, events, and characters are, the better.
Remember, Emil said he uses this rule in relation to themes, and that he thinks having a single strong central theme is good.
So boy, do I have some stuff to say here. He skipped about 13 minutes of video where I go very in-depth on themes of Skyrim and what he claims the theme of Fallout 4 is, and just talking in general about themes and how he fucks up the discussion of themes at one point by saying the post-apocalypse in 1950s Americana is a theme. And all of that is skipped to get to this point of, hey, stories are better if they're more complex.
That doesn't seem very fair of him.
Well, it seems as though if we were to cover your assessment and response to him, we would never entertain the idea that you've misrepresented him, as opposed to just entertaining your point of view and your disagreement with him. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't even entertain the idea that's like, oh, how could you? You've ruined his initial meaning because you have focused on a complex story while he's talking about themes being nice as a foundational, simple thing, which, like I said, I still disagree with as well. It's a very strange statement.
This is the funny thing, too, is in his speech, ML claims that the core theme of Fallout 4 is suspicion, and that is kind of hilarious, having gone through all Fallout 4 and that pretty much never coming up.
I was actually about to just say that if what Emil's saying here is in regards of writing themes, you should keep it simple, stupid. I was just sort of going through my memory, trying to figure out what the fuck the themes were for Skyrim and Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. I'm like, what were the themes of those games if keep it simple, stupid is the strategy for writing them?
That's the thing is they don't really have themes in a conventional literary sense.
What do they have it in instead?
So
kind of just like side plot lines, just minor things. It's a lot of just giving you things to do to justify gameplay. It's not so much focused on like high-end literary concepts. I think Emil just thinks it's that way.
Yeah, he first goes on about how Skyrim is about dragons in the studio. Everyone was talking about how it's about dragons, but
because that's not a
real
theme.
No, I know. But the real theme of Skyrim is the lone hero, the hero's journey. He even says that it's one of their more biblical stories. The Dragonborn is very much a messiah figure. It's like, what the fuck are you smoking?
Is this? Yeah, I haven't played Skyrim really. Journey? Is that the?
No.
Because I'm like,
okay.
I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Because there's no low point for the story.
I mean, like buying the game.
Creetosis, on the other hand, is claiming that Emil applies this rule to all writing and all aspects of storytelling, and Emil claims all parts of stories should be as simple as possible.
I thought that Emil said that this not only applies to all of gaming, like he introduces it by saying, this is the clip he used in this video, that this is like a design perspective, but that applied to writing, it refers to, and then he said like his own personal point of view, which is theme. You know what I mean? Like, that this is applied to a shit ton.
Well, if the problem of this video's construction is that instead of giving us that shit 7 hours ago, why don't you play the part about keep it simple, stupid here?
Yeah.
Because I can't quite remember the specifics of what Emil said. You need to play it now when you're contrasting it with what Creetosis said.
In an ideal world, you would have watched the full talk before this, and you would go to the talk and watch the relevant part.
No ideal world has me watching this. Okay.
I also want to point out the thing he claims I said is not something I ever said, which is why he doesn't play the clip of me saying it.
And also, it's not changing his meaning. At best, it's just an extrapolation.
Genuinely, from what I've gotten from this video, you have keep it simple, stupid. And this refers to just like a don't overcomplicate the situation, get the message forward, get the idea forward. Like, first and foremost, this applies to mechanics. Like, I can understand that. And this applies to story too. And what Emil had to say was that fundamentally you need a foundational theme that's like straightforward and the guiding principle for like all things. And then your response to that, Creetosis, was that you think that that's valid for like approaches with gaming, but that when it comes to story, that the more complicated, the better. Even though I don't necessarily agree with that, I recognize now, especially with what you said, like there's a huge, like more than however many minutes cut out of context of what you had to say about the whole thing in totality. But what doesn't come to my mind immediately is the sense that you have butchered what he had to say about it. Is more so just like you clearly disagree with him.
Well, consider the difference in discussion that we just had on what Creetosis said versus what's in this video.
Yeah.
It's like completely different thing.
Which is something that Emil has never said, and yet frequently appears in Reddit posts and YouTube comments.
My God.
Creetosis then goes on to prove why this fake rule is bad. Good job, Creetosis.
Oh, don't you complain about straw manning.
Yeah, good job, Creetosis, proving that it's bad.
But the point I'm making is that not every story should be something simple, especially when you're dealing with a large open-world RPG with plenty of factions and decades of lore behind it.
He does the same thing with the second rule.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I mean that's more agreeable as far as I'm concerned. Like when.
Yeah, if you're a big studio with all this shit to work with, like, you know, you could jazz it up a bit. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is keep it simple, stupid could apply to the components of a story and the components of the components of the components, if you know what I mean. Keep all of those individual things simple and straightforward, and then when they built up all together, it makes a very complicated overall image of a story. But this is what I mean. The clips he showed us of Emil talking about it were very, like, cringe. So, yeah, if we're going from just... broadly speaking, keep your story simple. I'd be like, well, I mean, hey, that's not great advice every time.
Maybe that's the strategy. He, because I mean, it was even acknowledged that a lot of the caveats that he gave, that he knew that speech wasn't great.
Yeah.
So by putting it at the beginning of the video and then paraphrasing his speech later on in the video in a more, in a way with greater clarity,
more useful.
You'll forget what he actually said and how he said it before. And you'll just take his rephrasing of it as I still
think even if you're gonna lie. Don't do like this weird thing where you play me clips that put me against Emil to begin with.
Yeah, but remember, he put them so early that you've forgotten them.
I haven't, though.
Lying is a skill, and some people are shitty at it.
Fortunately, you've got really good memory. He didn't account for the long memory.
Write what you know.
He concludes that write what you know simply means draw from your personal experience, and it takes a lot of inane rambling to get to this point. This is also a point I very much disagree with. You can write good stories without direct first-hand knowledge or personal experience. You can be inspired by someone else's experience they're told to you, or that you hear of to write great things.
So, Creetosis...
Though that could be a semantic thing of, like, when someone tells you their experiences, does that become then your knowledge? Is that still their experience or your first-hand? You know what I mean? That's like a semantic thing to an extent, but that still wouldn't... I kind of agree with you, is kind of what I'm getting at with that anyway.
Claims Emil's rule is...
Sorry, I was just going to say I love what he says here. This is probably my favorite part of the video.
All right.
Only write about things you have first-hand experience with, and yet, in reality, all Emil said was draw from your own experiences. He did not say...
That's not what he said.
So he's making a distinction between personal first-hand experiences and
personal and first-hand.
Personal experiences?
But he doesn't say personal experience. He just says experience.
Draw from your experience. Your experience implies that it's first-hand. If you say your experience, if you say
this is just childish. Like the personal first-hand or general experience. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, okay, what Creetosis took from what he said was that you draw from whatever you've done in your life. When he's saying that you can draw from a hell of a lot more than that. Like
Creetosis, did you say the words first-hand experience?
I said first-hand or personal experience.
Yeah, this is Patty.
Okay. The synonym squad.
Emil's rule is only write about things you have first-hand experience with, and yet in reality, all Emil said was draw from your own experiences.
Yeah,
it's on screen.
As in your belonging to you.
It's literally it's on screen. Draw upon your personal experiences.
He had to turn the captions on and record this.
He did not say they have to be first-hand, and in fact,
he said they have to be personal. Or he said that they were personal.
Like I said, this barely requires response. This is silly.
All he immediately gives is writing the Dark Brotherhood, an assassin's guild. And as far as I'm aware, Emil Pagliarello does not have any real-life experience of being an assassin.
But we saw...
but you played the clip where we laughed at him for saying what he said.
Like, we were just begging for more.
This supports Creetosis's point of view. When you say, like, I can write for the Dark Brotherhood because I'm Catholic, that's hilarious.
That makes me hungry for more.
Yeah. Like, obviously implied in there is like, well, you're going to be adding a hell of a lot more than what you experienced. Obviously.
Mm-hmm. Also, the whole thing here about ML not being an assassin, like, I acknowledge that. ML says it in his own speech. I'm like, okay, but what does your upbringing in Christianity have to do with anything here? You making the Night Mother and Sith as evil versions of the Virgin Mary and God, they don't tell us about, like, why these choices are made or, like, anything. There's no context. It's just a statement that that's something he did.
Guild. The final example is from the paper.
Oh wow, we're already at the final one. Damn.
Plain section that we heard earlier.
Maybe this one will be good.
Which is probably the second most widely misinterpreted part of the original speech after Kiss. Here's Creetosis's response.
This honestly just makes him look like a complete dickhead here, and this just comes across as an excuse for being lazy and writing a shit story. I have so many problems with this mentality. Just because someone is going to spend 200 hours building shacks doesn't mean they're never going to see the story, as evidenced by all the people who did see the fucking story. I like building shit in games that have that feature. I also want to enjoy a good story in Fallout 4, and got nothing. This is essentially saying that because side content exists that may distract players, they're going to shit all over your story, which is monumentally fucking stupid.
Yeah, so he's basically saying side content is in opposition to the narrative.
Which we've talked about is insane.
That is nuts. That's actually that is actually nuts because this taken to not even the extreme, but this taken further it's only like a main quest. There are no deviations from it. It is a super story focused game where there's no real alleyways or extra pathways or anything like that, which doesn't make them necessarily bad, but it's a much more constricted experience.
Having a dev tell you that a gamer, as a hardcore, lifelong gamer, as all 5 of us, I presume, are, you're just awkwardly sitting there like, but that's not true.
Yeah.
So...
Well, how could you say this? This is just
Yeah.
literally not true. Why do you think this? Did you come up with this on your own? Did Todd whisper this in your ear? What's going on?
Writing a story for a game, make sure to remember that players won't always do what you want them to, as they play their own way.
No, but he
different.
also
That's not what
said that they will rip the pages out of the book and make planes out of them.
Which it was a jagged pill.
Not just that, but he says specifically, and they'll never see your story.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Is he implying that the side content is something that you don't want them to do? Because that's the implication here.
Emil's being
Remember,
the
this
video
is about
being
changing Emil's meaning.
Yeah. Well, this is outright ignoring shit that he just shown us that he said. Remember, if we go all the way back to when he said the paper airplane thing, I said as a suggestion that he'll have players pointing out plot holes, like, actively. Like, that's something they might do. And I think Free was like, I think he means that, like, they could go off trail or whatever. And it's like, why would I entertain the idea that people are going to be tearing your story apart if you hadn't implied that with your analogy? I guess I'm just making shit up, too.
Because if you were to...
Go ahead.
All right, if someone was to say that someone was tearing apart the story of a game, and I would assume that that would mean they would go to the place where, like, an in-game cutscene happens, and they're not paying attention, they're putting buckets on people's heads, they're spinning around, they're shooting NPCs, they're just fucking around doing something else, they're looting, they're not paying attention to the story, they're putting obstacles in front of the NPCs. That's the kind of shenaniganery that I would expect he means by that. Not they are engaging in separate, unrelated side content that we specifically put in the game for them to do.
Like, if they went to the achievements and it said 20% of players defeated the final boss, meaning 80% of players just fucked around. You'd be like, whoa, no, not necessarily. We have that could mean all kinds of different things, statistically speaking. And then we look at those 80% players' playthroughs, and they're focusing entirely on, let's say it's Halo, and they're doing Forge. He's like, so Forge has destroyed their engagement with the game. I was like, no. They are engaging with the game. They're just not playing story mode. This is what I mean about, like, the clarity of his statements.
Welcome to the world of... I mean, just welcome to the world. Not everyone gives a shit about the story you're trying to sell.
I mean,
they just want to do their own thing.
They bought your game, they're entitled to what they want. Really getting in his way. It's like, you probably shouldn't be writing for video games, let alone open world RPGs.
When people spend $60 on your game, they can do what they damn well please with it. It's their experience now. If they just, for instance, I never beat Skyrim. I never beat the main story. Didn't give a fuck. Couldn't care less. I just fucked around, essentially. I did a bunch of dungeons and different quests and just him-hauled around, and then I got bored, and then I moved on with my life. I never beat the main story. I literally did not care. It was so unengaging and uninteresting that I think I got to the part where the Blades were like, yo, you should kill Parthenax. And I'm like, fuck that. And I just effed around with everything else in the game. I'm like, nope.
You know what's funny? I think Metal was like an hour away from the end of God of War Ragnarok. He was like, I've got this side quest to do, which I knew was going to take him like 7 hours. And I was like, please, like, please do the end, please. He was like, I'm going to go for the side quest. I was like, no.
The moment of introspection should happen for Emil when you're realizing, like, wait a second. How come people would rather build shacks for 30 hours than engage in my story? Well, obviously, it's the gamers that are wrong.
Yet Creetosis presents this as if Emil is saying...
Why doesn't he just call you Litosis at this point, you know?
Yeah.
I speak don't only bother writing
a story at all, or don't try when writing a story, because players might not care about it.
No, well, that's not what he said that he said. He said that it seemed like that was kind of what was behind it. Was this like that it was almost an excuse for shitty writing?
So you're saying he lies?
That's an interpretation.
Lies.
That's not a lie.
Lies.
Well, he said that it wasn't implied by ML, and I absolutely feel it was implied that people aren't going to care about the story.
I can see how someone would think that. The first implication I get is that he's just whining.
Oof.
Yeah.
As somebody who hadn't seen your video on this in a while, my look at it was you were either extrapolating or just misunderstanding. He's attributing malice that doesn't need to be attributed.
Well, remember, it's either that it was malicious or that he can't read.
Retard or evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Creetosis.
Emil quite clearly neither says nor implies.
This comes across as someone with no understanding of how people play games, is just completely out of touch with gaming. Maybe there will be some people who never touch the story, but to write it off as no one ever seeing your great American novel because they'll rip the pages out, make paper airplanes and build shacks, seems like the peak of ignorance.
I agree.
It certainly, it seems that way. There's a huge difference between leaving the book on the bookshelf and picking up the book and then destroying it. Two completely different things.
He's got a
Building
zinger
shacks for 30
coming.
hours is leaving the book on the shelf.
Well, they've been pretty good so far. So
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Peak ignorance indeed. There.
Oh, how do you feel about that?
God is ass.
Contextual.
Shit, get fucked.
Guilty.
I
Guilty.
am utterly destroyed. I'm gonna go kill myself now.
Dang, disavow.
Creetosis.
Creetosis. Creetosis.
Are also a lot more personal attacks.
No, it does
a
not
lot more personal.
Oof. How could you?
fucking sound great. Klingon promotion in the Brotherhood would be absolutely fucking nonsense.
That's
What
not
are
a
you
personal
talking
attack.
about, you absolute fucking clown person?
Whoa!
Clown
Whoa!
person. Dude, it's 2024.
Another
It's
racial
person of
slur.
clown.
Damn.
Well,
Jeez.
no fucking shit, Sherlock.
Do you
Okay.
have you
that
apologized for this?
Damn.
Have you
Jeez.
apologized?
You
I
stand
apologize for
accused.
nothing.
I feel like this guy would die if he watched my videos. Like,
I was about to say, like, how are
cruel-
you still allowed on YouTube?
You fucking cabbage.
Okay, I have my script open. I just opened, I did a search for Sherlock. Apparently what ML was saying there is sometimes they throw their paper airplanes, sometimes they want to experience a story. I don't know, I feel like I completely justified in that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whoa.
yeah, that's I mean, that's
I
what
just-
Well, you
gamers
should have
do.
said it politely. You should have been nice about it. You should have said, I think that was rather obvious.
oof.
You should have said, I agree, Emil. You are very talented, and I like you a
Well,
lot.
see, that's passive aggression. That's even worse than calling him a clown.
Mm.
Okay, Emil, I agree with you, and you're not spectacular in any way.
Oh, I don't know. This is all very cruel. I disavow everyone on this podcast. Just
All
saying.
right, I disavow. I do too.
And myself.
He then makes some nonsensical comparisons between games and movies. Killing this dumb
Is that a personal
That
attack?
was the personal attack that you said it was nonsensical.
it?
Oh my god.
Truly.
Damn,
Yeah.
roasted his ass.
It can never
I remember
be
my
redeemed.
first 15 minutes on the internet. Jeez.
Next you're gonna say he's silly.
You were gonna say he's a doo-doo head and he's dumb. That he
dumb
smells
bitch in
bad.
Skyrim is not the Red Wedding. This is actually the perfect representation of how simplistic his understanding of everything is.
Oh, dude.
Whoa, you call this
I need-
understanding simplistic, bro.
I need to fill you in on the context here because it is amazing. ML is talking about how games can give a different experience than like shows or movies or whatever because they're interactable and it's just a completely different experience. And you can
Mhm.
experience what's that movie with all the gangs?
Gangs of New
Warriors.
York?
Warriors.
You can experience the warriors in games and stuff. And he does another example I don't remember, but one of them is the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
And he references a quest in Skyrim where you kill a single person who isn't relevant to fucking anything. The only purpose she has in the entire game is to be killed in this quest. And that's their version of the Red Wedding.
Okay.
Doesn't sound interesting. Maybe
This
you just gotta
really
play
speaks
it.
to his level of
sure.
maturity.
Ah yes, Emil is the one coming across as immature here, unlike
Kind
the
of.
completely mature and not at all unhinged Creetosis.
Unhinged.
And
This is-
Never Knows Best is like the most softy little softy cuck boy I think I've ever seen. This is nuts.
We have. Just got commentary from private sessions. He says that what he classifies as personal attacks reinforces his belief that he was bullied.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if
I don't
remember
know,
what
man.
he called harassment early on.
I feel like any bully worth their salt says a hell of a lot more than, you know what, you're simple-minded.
Well, some of us didn't grow up on the mean streets of Wales like you did, all right? Some of us,
you know what?
Look, some of us got off easy.
You know what, Rags?
In a gentleman's society.
Rags, your comparisons, they're nonsense.
Oh my, stop. I thought we were friends.
I've got so many more ready to go.
No, that was already one too many. Please stop. I can't handle this unhinged behavior from you.
Oh, good lord.
You silly boy.
You clown.
Oh, no. That's a slur.
Oh, yeah? People. Is it a slur? Fucking Sherlock over here.
My shoes aren't even big.
My shoes are not that big. Damn you.
Speaking of unhinged.
Didn't you just call him an evil retard?
I want to be an evil retard.
I am not an evil retard. You take that back, or I'm telling the teacher on you.
I do think that's how Creetosis sounds at times.
I assure you, the level of frustration I'm experiencing right now is immense.
Oh, sorry. You should have included a laugh track to indicate that was slightly hyperbolic.
That's how you know he's unhinged, because it's like, wow, this is you watched a video about someone's like opinions about game design, and you're the most angry ever. Wow, you got issues, bro.
It even seems to be a call to
frustrated
action.
at listening to a fool on stage.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The future of Fallout is fucking doomed if it remains in this man's control.
Which does feel a little bit concerning.
That's definitely a call to action.
Yeah, you just asked everyone to burn his house down, so that's pretty fucked up.
You just gave everyone a side
quest.
How could you?
How do you sleep at night with the way that you threatened him?
Openly, Creetosis seems to hate Emil, and this is just one of several videos Creetosis has made about
Emil?
him.
Jeez.
Whoa, one of several.
This guy needs to, I know it's a meme, but some people actually do need to touch grass.
I don't know, Rags. I feel like this is obsessive behavior. We've got 1 video, 2 videos, 3 videos,
3 on the internet. Oh my god.
4 videos.
Oh, jeez. Stop.
That's the 4th video. That constitutes
several.
Oh, be still, my heart.
And each of these videos are longer than the video in question. So, think about that.
I don't want to.
Think about that.
No.
And horrifying.
I was going to say, if you can't sleep tonight, I'll know why.
I'm not going to go over the others in the same detail, but...
0? Oh boy.
I think it does need to be pointed out that this isn't a one-off. So here are a few representative clips from Creetosis' latest video, titled Bethesda's Emil Pagliarello is an incompetent writer. Let's check it out.
Wow. Today I'm here to talk about a different problem, and that's the writing style of Emil Pagliarello.
You just killed a woman.
That poor woman, what have you done?
It's the perfect Oblivion mini video. That's Oblivion. That's it. You've done it. You pull out a magic dagger and you slice a woman and she flies into the air.
Flies away.
When I was going through scripting this, my response to this with a friend of mine, we both got fucking hypnotized by that clip. Everything got drowned out by that clip.
Pretty funny. But also perfectly representative.
Emil is a fantastic example of someone who is promoted far beyond his skill or talent, as he's a hack writer, incapable of dealing with even the most basic and simple of plot lines. This man can't write for shit, and should not be in charge of writing jokes on bubblegum rappers.
Oh,
when will can they arrest this Creetosis man? Can we find and arrest him?
You're not just getting him fired, you're messing up his future career as a bubblegum rapper.
God, this is illegal in Britain.
Yes.
It probably is.
Emil Pagliarello is absolutely an incompetent writer, and he should not be leading these projects.
Welcome to my video of why Creetosis should be killed. He said these horrible things.
Even worse, this comes across entirely as though it's nothing more than a job to him, especially with Starfield. Rather than having any kind of passion or enthusiasm for the craft, I get the impression that he just does this because it's what he's paid to do. People who are passionate about their work, even if they're bad at it, don't turn in slop this fucking shallow and empty. We'll do better with ML gone.
Maybe. We've encountered a lot of people in the world of film that, I wouldn't say anything else. That's fine.
If a chef burns every meal he makes, he should be fired. If a surgeon loses every patient he has, he should be fired.
Well, to be fair, hospitals are big.
Yeah, like they might save the next
You've never
one.
been a surgeon. How would you know?
Ooh. How can you tell when someone's alive if you're not a surgeon?
Yeah. Emil is like a surgeon with storytelling.
There you go.
He's precise and he knows what to cut and what to fix. He's an artist.
And he keeps it simple.
Makes his dog shit, they should be fired.
I do wonder, what about YouTubers who make low-quality videos that are full of misrepresentations?
Ooh. I know the answer to this. NeverKnowsBest.
We cover them on EFAP.
Yeah.
Contradictions and outright hate.
Outright hate. Ugh, boring.
Saying that Emil Pagliarillo sucks at writing is hate speech.
What should happen to them? Oh my god.
They should be destroyed.
The funny thing is, he qualifies for all the things he just referenced, so whatever you decide, sir, you'll be getting it too.
Them.
They should...
Also, what about, this feels a little bit targety, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why I was
referring to Creetosis is the center of the screen, all of these things,
all of the videos there.
He's been
guys, what if he bans you from his comment section? You can't harass him.
Oh, no.
Yes, the ultimate punishment.
I swear to fucking God, if Creetosis made a screenshot filled with 1,000 messages of, you should delete your channel, I'm pretty sure NeverKnowsBest would be like, well, that's what you get when you lie about other creators.
Ooh. Spoilers.
Oh, really?
What?
Really? Oh my god.
Forget about this. We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Forget.
Fired.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. YouTubers are often allowed to say whatever they want, and usually they get...
I was about to say, wait,
usually they get away with it.
We are in a world
just getting away with it
where people are allowed to say what they think.
Getting away with it.
Damn it! You made the reference before I could.
Can you believe YouTubers can just say stuff and they usually get away with saying stuff?
You can tell this is the villain origin for some fucking dystopian movie. It's like, once people were allowed to say just whatever the hell they wanted. It was a hell world.
I've been called retard one too many times.
He's English. Of course he's against freedom of speech.
True. We hate the England here.
Magna Carta? More like Magna Sharta.
This second video is arguably worse than the previous one.
Well, you've shown that.
Why
didn't you argue it?
He showed us a compilation of 3 vague insults about the state of his ability to write in an hour and 4 minutes.
Insults that were more mild than the fucking first video.
God.
Yeah, I can't... it's tough to decide if they're more vague or more mild.
Do you think if he heard you call him a cunt, he would have been like, oh, what the fuck? How could you
That's a word for women!
This is more on events we haven't got to yet. Still, this second video is likely Creetosis' most successful video of all time.
Okay.
Receiving over 240k views in just...
Yeah, why is it likely as opposed to we could check?
You could just sort by most popular, right?
It hasn't fully panned out yet, okay?
Oh.
2 weeks.
Hedging his bets.
I would argue in terms of success to time released, that video got more views in 3 or 4 weeks than any other video I've done, but my 8-hour response to Many a True Nerd has over 760,000 views, so that's the most successful of all time.
Well,
but
we're measuring success by view count. What about success by getting the message across or something like that, or making a good video?
Boo.
I don't know what NeverKnowsBest would know about that.
Well, what I can't believe is wait, so we're done with the Creetosis section now, but we still got another. How long is this? 8 minutes before. Yeah, before we get to Patricia. What's going on here?
We got to get to the moralizing part.
Oh,
yeah.
Meaning, a lot of people have tuned in to listen to his expert analysis.
You've not. Okay, listen. Okay, if we're gonna actually grant you that you debunked the first video, which you absolutely didn't, you barely even covered it. You cannot claim that you've debunked this video where you claimed you played 3 quotes that were mean at most. That's all you've done.
You played 3 mean quotes. That's not
like
debunking.
I understand why you'd be like, this is a trap video, but I would be like, no, this is just hyper incompetence. Like, he really thinks that he's actually done this. Like, he's like, I don't need to go over how just horrible Cree retard is. He's a nonsense. And you can see that this is influential.
Creetardos.
No, I agree as well. Thus far, I have not been convinced that this is a meme. This just seems like a bad video.
He's incredibly bad at his job.
One thing I do want to mention quickly is I feel like he only took those 3 quotes because those were the only 3 he can mino that video to.
That's the impression I get. If someone fucking summarizes a 1-hour video with 3 quotes, I'd be like, I
wonder. I wonder what.
Yeah, I got mine in mind.
The deadline was coming up. He had to get this out. He didn't have time to fully debunk the second video.
He didn't even blur his shadows.
It was in the design document.
He didn't even do anything with the fucking first one, man. Like, just
on the mind and writing of Emil Pagliarulo. This also means Creetosis is making decent money off of Emil's name.
He could have been demonetized.
Are we going to talk about how much Emil makes off of his shitty fucking writing?
No, we don't need to talk about that.
The high
that would be
crime
rude.
Making money on YouTube. Let's hope this video is unmonetized after Emil's passed.
As many people should be pointing out as well as someone has. There it is. It's like, this is what bothers you, huh?
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe.
Yeah, to be.
Oh, the smoking gun.
Yeah,
he's got you now,
subscriptions.
Buddy.
Wait, other YouTubers get to make money for their opinions?
Wow.
So that is kind of the part of the theory is he's quite jealous of us, and that's why he's putting us on blast, because we are smaller than him, but we're having more kind of success than he is right now.
Yeah, well, you're also mean, so
true.
I have.
We're profiting on misery.
The thing that makes them the most angry is being successful. There's nothing that can actually make them angrier than you just being successful.
So another rule for the list, he can never ask for subscribers again. Okay.
Rude.
Well, if you want to be a good person, yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't a fan.
So
now,
true.
I'm mostly focusing on 3 different
indictment.
Emil critics, and we've now covered
the damning indictment that this guy isn't a fan of YouTube.
How
are you going to recover it?
A Reddit post. I do find that funny.
He keeps putting you front and center in this sequence. Like
he's just reusing the asset.
Now, this is something that's probably worth. I know that we've jumped portions, but how much of the video was actually dealt with like the nature of the writing in these games?
0. That's not part of his argumentation process.
But I mean, surely it has to be because
it would obliterate him.
How could any of this be? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how could any of this be effective as a look at how the story against this writer was propagated? But how would that be possible if the writing was like excellent and everybody felt that way?
He showed 20 seconds of Starfield, and I wanted to throw up.
I guess that's what I'm finding fascinating is surely a big part of this conversation has to be, but what's the deal with the writing? Is it good or bad?
No, we're just mean.
They are pretty mean. I will say, pretty mean. One of them said something like, no shit, Sherlock. That's one of the most offensive things you can say, isn't it?
Yeah, comparing someone to Sherlock Holmes.
It's cultural appropriation of his culture.
Mm-hmm.
I just is now because again I'm not super familiar with the Bethesda lore, but I remember that Fallout 4 had the dialogue wheel where it would just have like yes, no, like it had like the one word summaries compared to the older games where they had full sentences that you could see.
Yes.
Whoa,
yeah,
who was responsible for that change?
That would be Emil. He talks about that in the talk.
He talks about how that was a good idea.
Yes, and
it's weird because the internet talks about how that was the shittiest fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean,
did in the universe.
He does not explain why. He does not explain why. He simply says that it was necessary.
Okay, I mean, not to make a big tangent
it had to be done. My hands were tied.
Showing the whole sentence is really helpful to the player so that you avoid the situations like in Mass Effect where you pick a choice and then Shepard says something where you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't want you to say that.
What's interesting is that one of the most popular Fallout 4 mods is them just having the whole lines of what you're going to say. It just like it changes it back to what it used to be. You know,
that was one of Joseph Anderson's points. Was if you use that mod, it becomes quite transparent. Some of the poor quality of the game, because there's quests where all 4 of the options are actually the same dialogue line.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm seeing people say yes, sarcastic, no, brackets, yes.
Yeah.
What it actually translates to is yes, 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 yes.
Yes, because you're just saying no is just I'm going to do it later.
Yeah,
I see.
Doing it later is just like, eventually you'll be back. It's a video game, you'll be back. It's a side quest.
One of the quests in the main story, you can say no, and then your quest log will update anyways as if you said yes.
That's real. What's the point of giving you the choice if it's not
an illusion? It's all illusory.
You think Fallout's about choice?
Well, I guess that's because that's what I've heard about Fallout 1 and 2 is that the amount of player agency is kind of staggering.
Well, to the point where famously you can like convince the main bad guy to kill himself or whatever, right? If you have the right build.
Yeah.
I think that's where the meme comes from, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the right build, it's having the right information in Fallout 1. In New Vegas, it is the right build.
I'll be back.
Right, where if you're paying attention to the story and you know the details, then it's like, okay, you've been rewarded.
I'm tempted to go off on a tangent on that.
Well, I guess the point being that all of this is going to be filtering into how, because that's the thing that I heard a lot about Fallout 4 was that the dialogue was not just that it was like poorly written, but that the nature of the choices that you have, the gameplay portion of that system was really lacking. And I'm just saying, like, surely all of this has to be part of the discussion, because how does the story arise that this guy sucks if his writing is great and everybody loves it? How does that story arise just because of a Reddit post and some YouTube videos?
It's exaggerated. We're just taking him out of context.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying is, like, how could it be if the stories were amazing and then you watched the speech and you were like, how does that change to where you could get really, really negative about it if you really like the writing?
Listen, people liked Fallout 4 until the speech happened, and then they all read on Reddit that there was a speech that...
Of course, how people feel about these games is partially because it's not just going to be about story, it's also going to be about design.
We skipped over the part where he said that It's a Gundam reading the Reddit post was one of the main ways that it propagated, too.
But again, it doesn't propagate unless people feel that the writing is poor.
What if it's lies, though?
No, they just... Listen, it's cult-like behavior, okay? They're taking YouTubers at face value. And it's YouTubers who are knowingly lying and being evil retards.
I think that's all that's happening, is that longer we're going on, it's just making me wonder, why aren't we talking about the nature of the writing in some way, shape,
because it's indefensible. If you included Starfield in this discussion, he could not defend Emil.
So I guess almost as a summary, what would you be pointing to in Starfield to highlight how badly he's writing the story?
Everything.
I would point more so to like the dysfunctional design. I mean, the story is a clusterfuck, and that's a lot of what my video is. But I think that a lot of the mechanical systems not playing together particularly well is an even bigger indictment. Because sure, the story sucks, but now I can't even go make fucking paper airplanes and have fun doing that.
I see. Okay.
I do want to go back to the Fallout 4 speech system and just how fucking bad it is really quickly. If you've got 4 options every time you're talking to someone. And if their response is, let's say there's 3 small blocks of dialogue that you get in response. The first one will be tailored to whichever of the 4 options you pick. And then the other 2 will be the same, shared between all 4 options, making the choice completely meaningless. It's just flavor in most cases.
And Imble talks about the difficulty that having to come up with 4 options in dialogues would have, because sometimes your options are just yes or no, because it's just a yes or no question.
Then why wouldn't it just be 2? Why not just make it 2 choices instead of 4?
Guess they couldn't have a system like, Mass Effect has that systems where sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5, sometimes there's more than 6. There's the branching one on the left. But I think that their system was not robust enough to only have 2 options, because you never see that.
That is insane that they couldn't have it be 2 when it needs to be 2. That it has to be 4. That sounds absurd to me. That's unbelievable for a AAA video game.
Someone who's more familiar with modding would have to comment if it is possible to make a dialogue with only 2 options, but the fact that you never see it, despite there being yes/no questions, it indicates to me that that is the case. Because he does complain about that they had to write 4 options.
Yeah, it is, as far as I've seen, and I've seen, obviously, a lot of the game, having gone through the entire base game, every single dialogue has 4 options.
Yeah, that's my memory of the game too. I've played like, I don't know, 75 hours of it. And I never saw any options that were less than 4 or more than 4.
That is crazy to me. I'm stunned.
Ooh, it's the spookiest time of year, and what's more suitable than EFAP celebrating with a brand new set of terrifying plushies? Introducing the EFAP Halloween plushie set, starting with Mauler the Longpire, a terrifying monster of bloodthirst and long. This cuddly beast is both infamous and primal in his desire to drain the very soul from the world of media, and he's coming for you. But he's not alone. How could the Longpire be complete without his trusty doggo? Ragzolantern. Poised charmingly in his pumpkin, your Ragzolantern will be there to offer his support and encouragement and sarcastic commentary to all your endeavors. This gourd-adorned Shiba Inu will give your pumpkin patch a pantalooned pooch's worth of company, and of course, both of these fine, fiendish fellows are joined by yet another. Though his eyes may have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, Fringy the Raven will gladly perch atop your couch, cuddly and at the ready. This corvid ventures nowhere without his scythe, and he's more than ready to slash his way through all obstacles. But not without the final member of this cutthroat cohort. Hear the bell as it strikes the hour of the wolf. When the midnight sky is red, a beast shall emerge from the forest to plunder your local pizza parlor. Behold, the dreaded werewolf, complete with the sunken eyes of a beast who avoids the searing heat of the sun, carrying with him a slice of his latest victim. This legend of the night will surely be a fantastic addition to this crew of dark demons and pumpkin playmates. But that's not all, no sir. Have you ever left home only to worry you're leaving the members of your favorite podcast behind? Do you despair when Mauler's commentary, Fringy's laughs, Wolf's fury, or Rags' puns aren't around anymore? Well, anguish no longer. Now you can stay warm and cozy during those chilly autumn days while constantly explaining to everyone that, no, it's not electronic fapping, I swear. Introducing the official Every Frame a Pause Halloween hoodie. Perfect for lounging around indoors, shopping, long walks on the pier, weddings, baby showers, funerals, Halloween, Christmas. Complete with the expected furnishings of the season, as well as some gorgeous artwork by Black Soul Odin. The EFAP hoodie is ready to keep you warm and comfy through those winter months. There may even be a surprise guest on the back. Pick up yours today, because once the campaign ends, it'll be gone for good. And don't forget Mauler the Longpire, Ragzolantern, Fringy the Raven, and Werewolf. Completing the EFAP Halloween set. For every item you pick up together, the discount will increase. Be sure about what you'd like before it's too late, as the spooky season will not last forever. Find them all at makeship.com/shop/EFAP. All links can be found in the description. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the show. We will see you next time.